All right, now as you can see, a lot of people out there think I be against the Moors. You think I'm against the Hebrews. I'm not against the Hebrews. It's just the teachers that we go by. This is my man Perry right here. I love this brother. I've known Perry for years. You see, matter of fact, he lived right around the corner from where I live at.
That's right.
Right around the corner. We ain't even got to cross the street. I could just go right around the corner. That's where my brother, me and him is in the same place.
I just want to say I love you.
What I want to thank you, baby. What I want to say to the viewers out there on YouTube, I don't have no problem with you brothers disagreeing with brother Cyrus Suit Seti or with my brother Perry. But I'm gonna tell you, I do have a problem when y'all disagree disrespectfully. So if you disagree with my brother disrespectfully, I'm gonna let you know I ain't got no problem with blocking you motherfuckers off my channel. Negroes already know that. I ain't got no problem with deleting your comment and blocking you. I don't give a damn what you say about brother Sarnetta. If you disrespect the general, Cyrus Suit Seti, I'm just gonna respectfully block you suckers and delete your comment. I don't got no problem with you disagreeing, but do it in a respectful way. When you start saying, oh, this bitch ass nigga fucked it, man, I'm blocking you. And then I'm gonna delete your comment. So I ain't got no problem with that. But if you do it in a way where you bringing the information and you challenging him, I ain't got no problem with that. That's all I want to say.
Yo, Shaka, you crazy for this one. Raw on the board. RPG'd up. It's Mr. Conscious Swagger himself. I'm June Cancun. Let's get it. They ain't set hollering or rag flagging. They roll on your set in Impalas or paddy wagons. All wear blue, ain't part of the Crip set. Get diplomatic immunity, ain't part of the dip set. Every time they kidnap a dude, judges is loving it. Paid by politicians, cool with the government. From the birds to the curbs, they think
peace, my brother Perry. What's going on? One of the real Hebrew Israelite brothers that I know out here that gets it in, that bang hard with anybody who go up against what he represent.
Anything that to go against what I represent.
Right,
what
now
is 100% true. Everything I'm saying is straight true. It's the perfect thing for our people. This is what our people need.
Okay. You were saying just a few minutes ago that God is a racist.
God is straight up racist. God is all about the Hebrew Israelite nation. He not for none of these nations out here, man. When you read the Bible correct and don't go by the religion that's out here, you're gonna find that the Most High don't care about none of these other nations. He don't care about Africans, East Indians, Chinese, Japanese, whites, none of them. If you're not a Negro, a so-called Latino, or Native American Indian, God don't care about you. And that's in the Bible. See, my thing with a lot of brothers out here is that they go against the Bible not really understanding the Bible. You understand? When you really truly understand the Bible, you see what it is. Brothers like Cyrus Suit Seti, he don't understand the scriptures. He don't know the Bible. You see what I'm saying? He's sitting there talking about Moses took his information from Egypt. You gotta understand that it was when you go into the ancient Sumerian culture and all that, you're gonna find angels and seraphims and sphinxes and things like that. This is just something that was common knowledge amongst all people at that time. But the Bible is the one that breaks down all this information perfectly. You understand? You can't use a dogma that's out here on the Bible and try to use that to represent the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? You got, and according to the scriptures, Christ is a black man, but they teach us as Christ is a white man. You know, if you read the Bible, you'll read how a white woman came to Christ and asked Christ to heal her daughter who had demons on her, and Christ told her out of his own mouth, "I'm not sent to nobody but the nation of Israel." So you got, you know, if you got a church that contradict that, that's going against that, then obviously they not really representing the Bible. The Bible tell you that God's high holy day is Saturday, from Friday night to Saturday night. That's the 7th day. You can look on the calendar and check that out. But in the church, they tell you that the high holy day is Sunday. So it's obvious that these guys do not represent the Bible. They tell you in church that it's all right to eat pork, this, that, and the third, the laws and all of that is done away with. Don't come at me with religious dogma. Come at me with what's in the scriptures. You understand what I'm saying?
Brother, going up against the general, Cyrus Suit Seti, you're gonna have to come outside of that Bible. Because if you're trying to debate Seti using that book, he gonna use your own book against you.
It's nothing wrong with coming outside the Bible and using history. You got all kind of scholars and books and archaeologists that back the Bible up fully. You understand what I'm saying? It's a well-known fact in history that the Hebrew Israelites fled into Africa. You understand what I'm saying? They got all that information, man. You know, the Persian culture recorded the Hebrew Israelites, recorded all that in the Bible. When you read about King Herod and all these different historical figures that's in the Bible, you can find that in history. You know, it's not just the Bible. The history backs up the Bible. You understand? Everything that so-called scientists and archaeologists is out here saying, it backs the Bible up. You just gotta understand that the white man think he God, so he put his little spin on it. When you go into science and the whole evolution thing, what they say came first? Plants, or they say it was earth, then water, and then plants, and then animals, and then man. The Bible say the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? So what they saying is it's not no different from the Bible. They just taking God out of the picture. First of all, when you're dealing with ancient Kemet, okay, the recordings of ancient Kemet is not too far away as far as years is concerned from the recordings that's in the Bible. You got Dead Sea Scrolls that's like 800, 1,000 years less than what Kemet is saying. You got niggas out here talking about the history of Kemet is 100,000 years old, 200,000. That's bullshit. First of all, there's no way to prove that. Carbon dating only goes back some 10,000 years, and that's from the 2000s. You understand what I'm saying? Some of the earliest manuscripts that they found from the Dead Sea Scrolls date back to about 400 BC. You understand what I'm saying? And another thing you gotta understand is that back then everybody was black. You see what I'm saying? Everybody was black. So this whole thing about Africans having a monopoly on the color of black, that's bullshit. Everybody was black back then. You dig what I'm saying? And you had cultures before the Egyptians was established. And the Egyptians didn't become great until our people went in there, until the Hebrew Israelites went into Egypt.
Show and prove that the Hebrews built the pyramids, and they was enslaved in Egypt.
The Hebrew Israelites built the pyramids. I'm going to show and prove that. I'm going to show and prove that Imhotep was actually Joseph.
Show and prove it right now.
They got videos on that on YouTube showing you where Imhotep, what city he was established at. You understand, and how he had these huge grain pits built.
Hold on, let me get this right.
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me that Imhotep called himself a Hebrew Israelite?
Imhotep was actually Joseph, who the Bible speaks of. That's who Imhotep was. Yeah, Egypt was established before we got there, but they didn't have pyramids before we got there. Just like America is built up to the height that it's built up at, that's due to us being in here now. It was the same thing going on back then in Egypt. You see what I'm saying? History don't change, it just repeats itself. The same thing we was doing in Egypt that we doing in here now, we was doing when we was oppressing Egypt, we was doing when we was oppressing Babylon, we was doing the same thing when we was oppressing Persia. It's an ongoing thing. You dig what I'm saying? We made the Egyptians great. It was us.
Wow.
You understand? Egypt didn't become great until that great famine hit the earth. And when that famine hit the earth, everybody had to spend their money with Egypt. And it was Joseph who was able to break down the dream that Pharaoh had and told him, look, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a 7-year famine. And God is going to give you 7 years of plentiness. So what you're going to have to do is say that. And he sold that to the nations all around the earth, and that's how Egypt became rich. That's how Egypt became great. And it was a Hebrew Israelite man, a so-called Negro Latino, that set all that up for Pharaoh, man, that established that for Pharaoh, that ran that orchestrated that whole thing. Now, when that Pharaoh died and the next Pharaoh came into the picture, he didn't respect us. He tried to oppress us because he seen how great we was. You understand? And that's when God brought us up out of it during the Exodus. And they got that on the walls of Egypt. You can research that video too, to the people out there in YouTube land. Because I can come over here on my laptop and show you all that. It's all on YouTube. Malcolm X is on YouTube saying that after he left the Nation of Islam, before he died, he's on YouTube saying right now that the Negroes in America is the true Hebrew Israelites. All this shit is already researched and done. It's just that our people is ignorant. They don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't study nothing. But if you want to know the real truth, my brother, Egyptians is no different from any Africans you see out here today. Now, as far as the other Hebrew Israelites that you kicked it with and ran into, they came out of that school and decided to start their own thing. You can't even compare them to the brothers down there on 1941 Madison Avenue. You can't, because that's the real Hebrew Israelite school. Any other Hebrew Israelite that you see out here talking about they trying to teach the people, they rebels. We call them rebels. You understand? Because all of the elders that came out with this truth and put all this together, they still over there. So you went to start your own thing. You can't even call them brothers.
So what is it going to take for me to get them to come out of there and go up against the general?
I really don't know, brother. But you got me. You got me over here. I'm willing to speak to him. I'm ready to kick it with him and let him know that that shit you talking about, nigga, is bullshit. You know what I mean? You talking about what's written on the walls of Egypt. You talking about what's written on the walls of Egypt and all that. You don't know what's written on. You can't translate that shit. Them shit's just pictures. You don't know nothing about none of that, man. You see what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, they got the Hebrew Israelites, Moses parting the Red Sea, that's over there in Egypt. They got that on the wall. I seen a joint on the Discovery Channel on that. You see what I'm saying? Where some cats came from Europe and did the whole thing on that. And the Arabs that's running Egypt, they explained to them why they don't put that out there like that, because they don't want the fake Jews, the so-called crackers that's claiming to be Jews, they don't want them coming into Egypt trying to claim land off the strength of that. So they kick that hitting. But they showed that whole shit on the program. The Egyptians knew who we was. We different from every other Darcy group you see on this earth. Show me an African that could fight like Muhammad Ali, box like Mike Tyson. You understand what I'm saying? Play tennis like some. They don't do nothing we do. We dominate everything. Niggas is not running around here wearing dashikis trying to be like them. They trying to be like us. We are the chosen people that the Bible speaks of, man. And that's our only salvation. We not getting out of nothing. You understand? Until we get righteous, until we get morally right.
So
you're
not an African?
And God gonna take us. No, I'm not an African. I'm not an African. I don't come from the lineage of Ham.
So let me ask you, what was you doing in Africa for the Egyptians to grab you and enslave you?
I was in Africa the same reason Jesus Christ ran into Africa. Jesus ran into Egypt when the Romans was chasing after him. He said, let me go down here where the people were still dark. You gotta understand that at one point the Arabs was dark skinned. But they mixed with white people, and now they got a mixed look to them. He'd have looked stupid trying to run over there. He would have stuck out like a sore thumb. But the one area that white people hadn't conquered yet at that time was in Africa. So that's where he fled. And he went down there to blend in. Same thing with Moses. Moses went down to Egypt. He was called the Egyptian. The Egyptians look just like us. Just like Africans today, some of them look like us. You understand? But the thing you need to understand is that just because you're black, don't mean that they the same as us. Like I said before, at one point in this earth, every nation, every race that you see today was dark.
Is it true? Is it true that the Africans enslaved our people?
Africans definitely enslaved our people. They knew that they wasn't our people. That's what we was ruling Europe at that time. We was ruling Europe and Africa. When the white people came back into power and they got them guns from China and they put them to different uses other than just firecrackers that the Chinese was using for, and they improved them and made them into guns and all that, they gave them guns to them Africans, and them Africans was able to conquer us using those guns. But when it wasn't about guns, when it was straight up swords and all that, we was fucking them African niggas up. Just like we'll fuck them niggas up today. They couldn't handle us. That's why we was ruling Africa. We had this, you could look that up on YouTube too. They had a whole area in Africa they called Negro land. It went from Senegal to Ivory Coast, the Gold Coast, all that shit. Ghana, Mali, that was all us. We was running all that.
So why do our people think that we are the same people today?
Because that's what you was taught by the white man. The white man teach you everything you know. All your history is from the crackers, from the white man. So he taught us that. He didn't tell you, look, you God's chosen people. The reason why you in a predicament that you in right now is because you broke God's laws and you decided to be wicked. You turned your backs on God. He didn't tell you that. He just told you it was just some random Africans that we ran over there and just started snatching y'all up. You see what I'm saying? But they don't. The Africans know. You could do an interview. What you need to do is find an African that'll do an interview with you, telling you the truth, because they'll tell you straight up that we are not the same people.
All right, now,
when you read the Bible tell you that the 10 tribes that was captured by the king of the Assyrians, Salmanazar, and this is all historical figures that you can look up. He took them into Assyria. They left Assyria and came to the Americas. The Bible tell you that they came over here, and they were supposed to come over here and keep the laws, and they started going back and to the customs that they was learning from the Assyrians and from the East and the people from the old world. And then they started going on, and that's when God punished them and brought Christopher Columbus and all of them over here to subdue them, to teach them a lesson. The same time we was being oppressed, they was being oppressed. The same prophecies that the Bible say the Negroes and the West Indians would go through, they're going through. They fight just as well as you fight. They sing just as well as you sing. They can fuck just as good as you can. They the same as us. There's no difference between them and us. It's just that they just as ignorant as we are. And yes, they're very racist because they was taught just like we was taught that the white man is the pinnacle of everything. A lot of them was taught evolution in class. What they tell you, it was the monkey first, then the black man, then the white man.
That's what they say.
You understand what I'm saying? Which is all bullshit. How you gonna tell me what happened 1,000,000 years ago? First of all,